Hey everybody, HG Shaves here. I'm back with another video. Today, I have 4 new products to talk to you about. Every single item in here I have not reviewed yet on this channel. Let's start with the brush for a change. Today, I'll be using the Semogue, or as I believe the Portuguese say, it's something closer to Semogue, 610. So this is a 22 millimeter knot. The loft is about 50 millimeters, I think, which is greater than the length of the handle, height of the handle, as you can see. And this is a brush that I picked up on the used market. It had already been broken in. It is a very soft bore knot, not very much scrub at all, really. And it's got decent backbone, but it's not as stiff as the Sterling bore that I used to have. I am not a bore aficionado by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought I would try this out this week just for fun. And it is a good little brush. It has been a little more difficult than I might have expected in use this week, but that's more because of the soak, which I'll talk to you about in a sec. So what I'm gonna do now, I'll let this soak for just a couple minutes. Normally I would let my brush to soak for quite a while I shower and everything, but because of the soap issue, I'm not trying to soak it for too long. The next item I'll be using for the first time today is this timeless aluminum razor. This is very similar to the bronze timeless head design and handle shape, if you know what that one looks like. Main difference being that I believe the bronze's blade gap is something in the 30s, like 0.38 millimeters, whereas this one is 0.45 millimeters. Now, all of Timeless's blade gap numbers can be a bit misleading because some find that the bronze is more efficient than the 0.95 stainless steel gap head option, and that's simply just because the head geometry does vary between these razors. So, although this blade gap is only 45 millimeters, which would be something like a AA carve plate, which is the most mild that they have, this razor head here really curves the blade, and it just allows for a very efficient while comfortable shave. I've been extremely impressed with this razor throughout the week. The overall weight of this razor, everything put together, is only 47 grams, which is extremely low if you consider that just the weight of a stainless steel handle on its own is usually 50 grams plus. So it's a very light razor. It's got nice checkered knurling on the handle here. It's got these, I don't know if you call them scallops here on the top cap. And it's just a really well-made razor. It is a bit bulky, which I think some people may dislike, but because it's so light, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I still find it, again, very, very comfortable, but surprisingly efficient. Like, in terms of efficiency, this kind of reminds me of the Above the Tie S1 that I reviewed a few weeks ago, but it's significantly more comfortable than that razor too. So this is a really wonderful piece that I'll be looking to pick up one for myself here pretty soon. Finally, the soap for today, Barrister and Mann Reserve Cool. So Will over there at Barrister and Mann, he created the Reserve line to be something that, well, the soap base would be very resilient to hard water, which is, I think, an issue a lot of us deal with when working with certain soap bases. And so this is a tallow-based formula, and it's chock full of great ingredients: coconut milk, castor oil, tallow, of course, and then kind of a lot of chemical long names that I don't quite recognize. But no skimping was done when Will made this base. So the problem with this base is when you get it brand new from Will, it's a very soft soap, and it's mentioned all the time as being super soft, and you only have to swirl on it 20 times, and then you move into a lather, and boom, you get all this lather. Problem is, this puck is probably 2.5 years old. I cannot make a dent on this puck. It is firm. I mean, it's not a triple milled puck by any means, but it is firm and it becomes extremely difficult to pick up soap. So combined with that boar brush I'm talking to you about that's super soft, I've been having a real issue this week just picking up enough soap. Otherwise though, the scent on this is fantastic. It's sort of a tribute to the Floyd Blue scent. So it's like an Italian barbershop theme scent. It's got notes of lavender, lemon, bergamot, and he claims that that's all there is. But to me, there is kind of a darker note that I get up front on this that's really wonderful. It makes it not just like a sickening, sweet, powdery barbershop, which is usually my complaint with many barbershops. And that note smells something like musk or oak moss to me. But this is a fantastic scent, and I've really enjoyed using this scent. So hopefully today we can sort of fix the lathering issues I've been having. And then finally, we'll be finishing it off with the matching splash here. So I'll talk to you about that at the end. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, wet my face, and I'll show you a little bit of the loading lathering process because this has been a little bit finicky. So I'll be right back. So after a minute, yes, 60 seconds of loading, this is what we got. It looks like a lot, but I'm not gonna be surprised if it's not. I mean, again, there's something has been funky about using this boar with this soap this week. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna transfer it to my Captain's Choice bowl here. And we're gonna see how much we can build in the bowl. So I'm gonna start doing that and then come back to you just in a sec. After a couple minutes working around here in the bowl, we got a nice kind of creamy, stringy texture. The reserve base reminds me a lot of the bison base from Declaration Grooming. But this is kind of the point that I've gotten to during this week's shaves, and it looks good. And then when I start working on the face, it disappears. And I go back into the bowl and I grab some more, and somehow it's just not enough. So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna wet the face and then start working a face lather. All right, I gotta say, this is the best it's looked all week going into that first pass, but again, I'm not totally convinced yet because the lather changes a lot when you go into 2 and 3 passes. My only other complaint with the boars is that they tend to leave this kind of very streaky lather just because of the nature of the bristles and how they work against your face. I don't think it actually affects the lather quality, but I just notice it. So, timeless aluminum, Gillette 7 o'clock sharp edge, the yellow one on its 5th use. Here we go. First pass done. Very, very nice. I'll point something out to you about this razor angle when I come back, but yeah, this razor continues to be very impressive. So, gonna rinse, come back for pass number 2. with this razor, I found that I think it's shallow. I always get confused about this angle. Yeah, it has to be shallow. So instead of holding the razor more like this, I hold it actually pretty close to the face. So if I were doing it with the grain pass, you might have noticed that. Well, maybe the razor that I've had to do that the most with, but it really does yield good results. So I'll do some north to south strokes here on the against the grain pass, and so check that out. All right, second pass done. You probably noticed that the lather was drying up on me there a little bit. Just the nature of the beast. I'm not sure what to tell you. Unfortunately, that's just how it's been for me. So before I go in for this last pass, I'm gonna make sure I really scoop out the remaining lather here in the bowl and just see what I can do this third pass, okay? So be right back. Final pass against the grain. Okay, we're all done. Man, this razor leaves you with a really, really close shave. Again, it's deceptively efficient. Got a little nick right there, but not a big deal. I think this blade is done too. It's not uncommon with these sharp edges that I get them to about 5 and then I start to feel a little bit worse, but yeah. Lather held up a little bit better there in the third pass than the second, but not ideal. So, gonna rinse and come talk to you over post shave. For post-shave today, I'm going to use the matching Reserve Cool Splash. Of course, this is the old square bottle, as they say now. They're rounded and much darker in their sort of overall nature. And there is sort of a cult following for these square bottles, if it's possible for there to be a cult following for an artisan splash. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but anyway, I've only ever tried the square bottles, so I can't compare them for you to the new ones, the circular cylindrical ones. So this is just, I mean, this is the list of ingredients. Absolutely crazy. All kinds of witch hazel, leaf extract, flower extract. I mean, it's, yeah, this is a really impressive splash. I think the old square bottle Reserve Splash is my favorite splash, except for maybe Noble Otter's newest splash formulation. So, gonna give it a good shake here. The other thing with these square bottles is that it does come out fairly quickly. There is a restrictor on top, but I go very gently. All right, that was about 5 douses there. So it is blue. Whoop, there it goes. It is blue in nature. Kind of fit the theme of how it smells. So it's got blue dye in it, and I've heard that that can cause sensitivity issues for some people who have allergic reactions to the blue dye. But so far for me, I've had no problems with that. And this splash is a fantastic performer. Does tighten your skin up a bit, but it's left feeling almost like a matte finish. Not quite as matte as maybe the Zingari Balm, but again, one of the best splashes out there. It does have a kick, or I should say a touch of menthol that's coming in right about now. There's not too much of an alcohol hit up front, and yeah, there's supposed to be, you know, menthol is supposed to be prominent in this splash, but if you compare it to the Don Jose soap I used, I guess that was last week, way less menthol in this. So I really like the menthol level in this splash. If you're sensitive to menthol like me, maybe that's a good option for you. So let's do a quick review. Already talked to you about the splash. Again, the soap, Barrister and Mann Reserve Cool, meant to work great in hard water. I do have hard water here in the Midwest. I think most of us do. And again, just I wasn't really able to figure it out this week. Could have also been the fact that I used this boar brush, which I'm not entirely familiar with. So maybe, you know, that's on me. But I look forward to trying to figure it out again in the future. But again, were my shaves bad this week? No. Were they ideal? No. And that's ultimately the, you know, question that I think I ask myself a lot with, you know, buying products to use. It's like, if you don't love it, if it doesn't work great for you, then what's the point in keeping it around? Because there's so many things out there that I do love, whether it's scent or how the razor works or whatever, that, you know, why should I settle on something that's difficult to use? So again, not going to count it out yet, but that's my initial thoughts after a week of use. Yeah, the Semogue 610, great little brush, really softens up, doesn't feel prickly or scrubby particularly. So I have enjoyed using that brush in the past. And then finally, the Timeless Aluminum. Forgot to mention, I want to thank my buddy, my online buddy, for sending this over to me to try out. Again, wow, really, really impressed with this razor. I think this has been the highlight of the week by far, and I'm gonna have to get me one. Maybe he'll let me hold on to this and I'll buy it off of him. But yeah, if not, this razor retails $75 new, $75 shipped from Timeless, or you can get a scratch and dent one for $55 shipped. So those are returns or base plates that have a little nick in them. So if you want to save 20 bucks, you can go that way. And then on the buy sell trade forums, you can get this for maybe 45 shipped. So in a very affordable razor, and you know, aluminum's not stainless steel, but it's a great metal and it's gonna last a long time. So again, very happy with this timeless aluminum. Hope to use it more and more in the future here. So that's all for today. I realized this was kind of a long one. Thank you if you stuck with me all the way here to the end. It was a long one because I had some issues this week, and it's okay if you have issues with your shave setup. You know, that's you're supposed to talk about it with your online buddies, and maybe they'll give you some helpful hints as to how to make it better. And anyway, next week I'm very much looking forward to trying out Chiseled Face Grumatorium soaps for the first time. A friend sent me a tub of Sherlock in the new Silk Tallow base to try out, and I love the scent. I already have the tub waiting. It smells great, and I hear the new base is fantastic as well. So be on the lookout for that next week. Other than that, hope you all are staying safe, staying well. Have any questions, always welcome to leave a comment or send me a message. Get in touch with me, and hope you all have a great week. We'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.